Well, blessed people, the Lord Jehovah has spoken with me this past night. The Lord Jehovah Yahweh, He took me to the universities of this country. It looks like right now the attention of the Lord is focusing on the youth and the universities and what is going on there. The Lord took me to the universities in this nation, and the situation is very terrible in the universities. He took me to this particular university and particular place where there are gangs. So literally in the universities there are gangs. There are these gangs that are selling drugs. They are selling drugs, and I think there is a competition. It's a gang activity. So one of the gang leaders sent a lady to another one, I think in a way as though to sell him a drug or whatever, but the purpose was to stab him with a knife and kill him. To stab him on the head or stab him in the chest or in the neck. So the Lord makes me know that they were planning to do that. So she goes to the room of that person, the man, the male student whom she was sent to stab and kill. And as she was there, immediately she pulled out the knife, and then a fight ensued. It was a very severe fight, the Lord showed me in the night, that took place in that university, in that room, by that lady who came from another gang to kill another gang leader, and they are selling drugs. So when the fight ensued, that young man managed to take away the knife from the lady, and then he said, because of this, I will now rape you. And he began to defile that woman. It was a very ugly and terrible thing that the Lord showed me happening in the universities. And then now the gang leader that sent her realized she was in trouble. He came also, and he came and they convicted on this young man. And it was such a terrible thing, a terrible situation that ensued in the university, that the Lord showed me a big fight, and they were fearing the police is coming and all this. So the Lord is focusing attention right now on the youth. There is a very terrible situation appertaining to the youth in this land at this hour. There's a very serious crisis with the youth in this land. And that's why the university revival that's going on, we have to now focus on that revival and try to up it, raise it, so we can reach more youth who are perishing in sin and wickedness and evil. And so this is a very, very terrible dream that the Lord showed me. He literally took me essentially to the university and showed me how terrible the situation is with the youth, fighting one another, stabbing with knives, and selling drugs, smoking bang, and all these terrible, terrible moments in their life. So that means there's going to be a serious focus. We're going to have a major focus. The Lord has raised the cry of the youth, which means the youth are crying out. They are really, really crying out for help. And I thank God that this ministry has a footprint in all the universities. And so I urge all the youth to run for refuge. Run for refuge into the fellowships, the repentance and holiness fellowship. Run for your physical health and spiritual health. Physical life and spiritual life. I'll continue to engage with this conversation, in this conversation with the authorities of the universities. I'll send groups of bishops. Now we are going to make deliberate efforts. But for now, for the youth that are tuned in, run and hold these fellowships of life and death. Because the Lord has presented to me, has presented to his servant, to the true prophet, the terrible, the deplorable state of the youth in this country, especially in the universities, stabbing one another with knives, a lot of fights and like gang rape or this kind of situation happening because of drug use and alcohol use and drunkenness. So the Lord has now turned the attention of his servant. It looks like the Lord is turning his attention now onto the youth, and they are crying out, that the youth are crying out for help. So we are going to have a continual conversation and broadcast on this matter. But for now, that is what the Lord has spoken. That is what I wanted to say. But I'm going to have a serious meeting with the Council of Bishops that may make a deliberate effort to rescue the youth, to give them the message of Christ, the message of salvation, to redeem them from decay, from death. But for those who are tuned in, please run to the repentance and holiness fellowship. If you don't have it in your university, without righteousness, without holiness, nobody will see the Lord. To the shalom, to the shalom, to the